Bryce Young is the number one quarterback in this NFL draft class, and while some people may believe in CJ Stroud or even Will Levis this year, I feel that the film shows that Bryce Young is undeniably number one. He's a Heisman winner who played for Alabama, and a lot of people think that Alabama is the reason why he was so good. But when you watch the tape, he's the reason that Alabama's offense was able to function at the level it did. And it's important to look at that and see exactly what we can see from him. Because for a team like the Texans, Colts, or any other team that may be willing to trade up or invest a top 5 pick in a quarterback like Bryce Young, it's important to know exactly what you're getting, what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are, and how you can build around him. So let's take a look at the film that Bryce Young put out and see why he's my quarterback 1 this year, and why I think it's a poor choice for anyone to let him fall too far. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Coker, and I'm your host for today's episode of Today with Tyler. I hope you enjoy. Despite a very small frame, Bryce Young has the arm of a first rounder. He gets good velocity from a quick delivery, helping make up for a lack of the elite arm strength that we see in top quarterbacks today. Young combines a quick release and decent velocity with great anticipation, pushing open windows that may otherwise not have been open. He knows how to throw well before his receivers break, facilitating his offense at an elite level. Young is even able to look off cornerbacks to open windows, an elite trait that can be deadly at the next level. Young also has the accuracy to stay effectively using those executional skills, placing balls where only his receivers can get it. Unfortunately, however, Bryce Young is not a perfect fundamental quarterback. Because his arm is not as electric as players like Josh Allen and Malik Willis and countless other strong-armed quarterbacks in college and professional football, Young often tries to frantically throw his body into the throw to get extra juice. That extremely quick and uncontrolled motion can lead to inaccuracy, which isn't a common part of his game, but rather a product of some of the inconsistent fundamentals and something that can be fixed. Even when he is controlled, Young's throwing motion is very quick, which is not a problem on its own, and can actually be a benefit if utilized correctly. However, Young takes a very slow walking drop back, and that contrast from slow footwork to wildly fast release is just not acceptable for consistent accuracy. The slow to quick movement is the source of any of Young's wild throws, which luckily is a coachable issue that can be fixed, depending on the staff that he goes to in the NFL. Another fundamental issue Young struggled with this season was rolling out of the pocket too often. Because he didn't trust his offensive line, which was justified, Young was often flush from the pocket. He then fell into the habit of rolling out into any pressure, even when he could step up to continue the play as planned rather than making an off-script throw. He did show flashes of stepping up in the pocket, something that he will have to do in the NFL, but his future coaching staff will need to make sure he doesn't leave the pocket when he doesn't have to, especially given how thin he is. Now, let's look at the mental side of Young's game, and the best part of his resume, and the most important in grading a prospect's readiness. Young's pre-snap reads are fantastic. He knows exactly where the soft spots are in the defense, exploiting them consistently. He anticipates when routes will find those soft spots and times it perfectly. That understanding of the defense will help him greatly at the next level, and is key to Bryce Young's status as a top quarterback this year. When the defense changes, however, Young shows flashes of the ability to progress beyond that initial plan that he makes pre-snap. That progression can be all the way through the reads, a key to facilitating a professional offense. Young can even flash good pocket mobility with progression, which is promising for any team looking to take the risk on drafting a young quarterback. When the pre-snap read is correct, as it often is, Young's inconsistent fundamentals don't hurt him, and he plays at a higher level than anyone else in this class. Young's anticipation and executional traits are elite when he understands what he's working with. But when he doesn't understand, Young can begin to panic a little bit. If he gets too set on his pre-snap read, Young may miss wide open reads, waiting to see his read that he anticipates open up. This may lead him to panic, destroying his fundamentals and pocket presence, which we talked about earlier. Due to his experience with pressure, Young fell into that habit of rolling out and making plays harder than they really had to be, which is going to be an important habit to break for his NFL career to ultimately become successful. So Bryce Young is extremely effective. Sure, he has some weaknesses and can begin to panic, But with a good coach and a team that's willing to invest behind him, I don't think this is going to be much of a problem. He has every trait necessary to be a very good quarterback and doesn't have any negative traits that are going to take a long time to get out or are unchangeable at all. He has the physical tools, the mental tools, and ultimately the leadership skills that it takes to be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. And he even has that clutch gene that's not very tangible, but you can only see by watching in the eye test. So Bryce Young is extremely good, but I can only hope that he goes to the right system. Because if a team isn't willing to build around him, they give him a poor offensive line, a lack of offensive weapons, and don't try to help him with his couple bad habits, we may see Bryce Young burn out and fizzle out and never turn out to be elite. But if we do see a team invest behind him and actually commit to coaching him and making him the best he can be, I think we have an all-time quarterback on our hands. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.